Hey, what's up, everybody? If you're enjoying the video, please hit that subscribe button and give a thumbs up. And don't forget to ring that notification bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. It really helps support the channel and allows me to keep creating content for you guys.
My wedding day felt like stepping into a dream. The white dress, the music, the smiles of everyone gathered. And Min-joon, my husband. He looked at me as if I were the only person in the world. Everyone said we were the perfect couple. He was handsome, successful, kind. His family welcomed me with open arms. His mother, a woman of dignified grace, his quiet but watchful father, his cheerful younger sister. They said I was the daughter they always wanted. I believed them. I truly believed I had found my forever, my safe harbor. Our home was beautiful, spacious, filled with sunlight. The bedroom especially felt like our sanctuary. Large windows, soft colors, a king-sized bed that felt like floating on clouds. It was where we shared our deepest fears, our brightest hopes. Or so I thought. It started subtly. Little things I dismissed. Min-joon was often tired, distant sometimes. He'd spend long hours at work, his phone always silent, always with him. He'd sometimes flinch if I touched his pocket where he kept his phone. He'd come home late, smelling faintly of something I couldn't place. Not perfume, not cigarettes, something metallic and cold. I'd ask and he'd brush it off. Just a tough day at the office, Ji-hi. His eyes would seem guarded. And the bed. Our beautiful bed. Sometimes when I would clean or look for something fallen, I'd notice Min-joon seemed uneasy if I was near his side of the bed, especially towards the back near the wall. He'd quickly distract me, pull me into a hug, suggest we go out. It was barely noticeable at first. Just a flicker of something in his eyes. I told myself it was nothing. He was just protective of our private space maybe, or just tired. I rationalized it away, clinging to the image of the perfect life I had built. The dream was too precious to shatter with baseless fears. But the unease lingered, a tiny, persistent whisper at the back of my mind. Like a single, off-key note in a beautiful melody. Something was not quite right. The whispers grew louder when his family became more involved in our lives. Initially their concern felt loving. His mother would call daily, asking about my day, offering advice. But soon the advice turned into subtle directives. Ji-hi, a married woman should focus on her home, don't you think? Your job. Is it really necessary? Or, Min-joon is the man of the house, finances are his burden. You don't need to worry your pretty head. When I voiced my worries about Min-joon's long hours or his strange mood swings, she'd dismiss me gently but firmly. Oh Ji-hi, you worry too much. Men have pressures you wouldn't understand. Min-joon is working so hard for your future. You should be more understanding. His father would nod silently, his eyes giving nothing away, which felt even more unsettling than his mother's words. His sister, who had seemed friendly, became guarded, offering only platitudes. They started controlling access to Min-joon. If I tried to call him at work when he was late, his mother would coincidentally call at the same time, distracting me. If I suggested dinner out alone, his family would suddenly arrange a family gathering. I felt myself being slowly, expertly isolated. The pressure mounted. Our finances felt tighter than they should have been for a man as successful as Min-joon. Bills were sometimes delayed. Packages arrived addressed to him that he quickly hid. When I asked about them, he'd snap, something he never used to do. Then he'd immediately apologize, blaming stress. His eyes, though, they were cold. Like a stranger's. My suspicions focused more and more on Min-joon's secrets, and the family's strange behavior surrounding him. They seemed to be protecting him. From what? And why did their protectiveness feel like a cage around me? I started searching for clues. I checked his jacket pockets when he was sleeping. Nothing. His briefcase, mostly empty. His computer was password protected, of course. The only place I hadn't thoroughly checked, the place that made me feel a strange, visceral dread, was under our bed. Every time I thought about it, my heart would pound. It felt forbidden. And the way Min-joon acted whenever I was near that area, it was like he was guarding a vault. I'd kneel down, pretending to look for a slipper, my hand hovering near the edge, the dust bunnies and forgotten things lurking in the shadows. But I'd always pull back. Fear? Or was it his watchful eyes on me, even when he was in the other room? I felt constantly observed. Gaslight. I started doubting my own sanity. Was I really imagining all this? Was I the problem? Maybe I was too sensitive, too paranoid, just as his mother subtly suggested. The suffocating feeling grew, pressing down on me until breathing felt difficult. I was losing my grip on reality, trapped in a web of smiles and lies. Then came the night I couldn't pretend anymore. Min-joon came home exceptionally late, his face pale, a tremor in his hands. He smelled strongly of that metallic cold scent again and something else. Fear? When I asked him what was wrong, his face hardened. Nothing. Just tired. Leave me alone, Ji-hai. He said my name like a curse. It was the first time he had ever truly been cruel to me. I couldn't sleep. Lying in the dark next to him, listening to his uneven breathing, the reality crashed down. This wasn't stress. This wasn't just working late. This was a lie. A deep, festering lie that was consuming us both. My mind fixated on the one place I hadn't dared to look. Under the bed. The next morning, as soon as Min-joon and his family left for their various, important commitments, I felt a surge of desperate resolve. My hands trembled, but I knew I had to do it. I locked the front door, pulled the curtains closed. I walked to the bed to Min-joon's side. The air felt thick with dust and secrets. Getting on my hands and knees, I peered into the darkness under the bed. Dust, forgotten socks, a stray pen. My heart sank. Maybe I was crazy. But then my fingers brushed against something hard, tucked far back against the headboard, partially hidden by the bed frame's support. It was a suitcase. Not a regular travel suitcase, but an old, beaten-up, dark leather briefcase-style one, scuffed and worn. It was locked. Panic warred with determination. I scrambled up, my mind racing. Where would he keep a key? I frantically searched his drawers, his bedside table. Nothing. Then I remembered. A small ornate box he kept on his dresser, filled with cufflinks and old coins. I'd never really looked through it. My fingers rummaged through the cold metal. And there was a small, tarnished key unlike any other in the box. My heart hammering against my ribs, I went back to the bed. I fumbled with the lock, my hands shaking. The latch sprang open. I lifted the heavy lid. Inside, neatly stacked, was a nightmarish collection. Wads of cash, thick bundles secured with rubber bands. Not Korean won, but US dollars, euros, yen. Stacks of official-looking documents I didn't understand immediately. Complex contracts, transfer papers. A second cell phone, cheap and old-fashioned, unlike the smartphone he always used. And then the photos. Photos of Min-joon, yes, but looking different, harder, colder, with people I didn't know in places I didn't recognize. And among the documents, a ledger. A handwritten book filled with dates, names, and terrifyingly large numbers next to entries like repayment, delivery, investment. My breath hitched. This wasn't just a double life. This was something else entirely. Something illegal. Something dangerous. And then I saw it. Tucked beneath the ledger, a small stack of correspondence. Letters, emails printed out. Not between Min-joon and some mistress, but between Min-joon and his family. Conversations about the operation, about handling the pressure, about keeping Ji-hai quiet. Dates that matched my moments of suspicion. References to the asset under the bed. They knew. They all knew. They weren't protecting him from others. They were protecting their operation from me. The dream didn't just shatter. It exploded into a million shards of glass, tearing at my heart. The suffocating feeling intensified, but now it was fueled by pure white-hot rage. All the subtle manipulations, the gaslighting, the isolation, it wasn't about me being a good wife. It was about keeping me blind, keeping me from finding this. Just as the full weight of the betrayal crushed me, I heard the front door open. Too early for them to be back. It was Min-joon. He called my name, his voice casual. I froze, the open suitcase of secrets gaping on the floor beside me. He walked into the bedroom. His eyes fell on me, on the suitcase, on the scattered contents. His casual expression evaporated, replaced by a look of cold fury I had never seen directed at me. Ji-hai, he said, his voice low and dangerous. What have you done? The confrontation wasn't loud at first. It was chillingly calm. He didn't rush me, didn't yell. He just stood there, his eyes piercing, radiating pure menace. You shouldn't have looked, he said, his voice barely a whisper, yet it felt louder than any scream. Some things are better left undisturbed. His facade was gone. The kind husband, the perfect gentleman. A mask I had foolishly believed in. I clutched the ledger from the suitcase, my hand trembling but my resolve hardening. What is this, Min-joon? I demanded, my voice shaking but gaining strength. Who are these people? What operation? And your family, they knew. They lied to me. They trapped me. He took a step closer. It's business, Ji-hai. Complicated business. Things you wouldn't understand. Complicated? Is that what you call lying, stealing, whatever this is? Is that what you call using your wife, locking her away in a gilded cage while you live? This double life. Tears streamed down my face, but they were tears of rage now, not sorrow. You and your family. You pretended to love me, to welcome me, but you just wanted to control me, to keep me blind. He scoffed, a harsh, ugly sound. Control you? You think this is about control? This is about survival. My survival. Our survival. He gestured to the suitcase. That money. It's keeping us afloat. It's paying off debts my father accumulated. It's protecting us from people far worse than you can imagine. His words hit me like a physical blow. Debts? His father? The respectable family? My head reeled. Was this the truth? Or another layer of lie? I looked down at the ledger again, at the names. Some were just initials, others full names. And then I saw one name that made my blood run cold. A name I recognized from news reports about organized crime. You're involved with them? I whispered, pointing at the name. His face went ashen. For the first time he looked genuinely afraid. Not of me, but of the name I'd just spoken. You shouldn't have seen that, he said, his voice dropping to a deadly seriousness. He lunged towards me. I reacted instinctively. I grabbed the suitcase, heavy as it was, and scrambled away towards the door. I'm leaving. I cried. I'm exposing all of you. The truth under the bed. Everyone will know. I reached the bedroom door, fumbling with the handle, the suitcase banging against my leg. Freedom felt just inches away. Exposing them, finally breaking free from the suffocating lies. But as my hand closed around the doorknob, Min-joon's voice stopped me dead. You can try, Ji-hai, he said, his voice now chillingly calm again, a predator's confidence returning. He wasn't even moving towards me anymore. He was just watching. But before you do, look closer at that ledger. At the very last entry. My heart pounding, I risked a glance down at the open suitcase, at the handwritten ledger. My eyes scanned the last page. Date, name, amount. And then a small note scrawled next to the final entry, written in Min-joon's familiar hand. It wasn't a transaction. It was a message. It read, she found the key. Contingency engaged. And beneath that, a single terrifying line not written by Min-joon, but clearly in his father's distinct, elegant script, the same hand that had signed my wedding certificate. She is no longer an asset. Neutralize. My blood froze. My hand fell from the doorknob. They hadn't just been hiding a double life. They had been waiting. Planning. The truth under the bed wasn't just evidence. It was a trigger. And I had just pulled it. I wasn't escaping. I was already caught in a trap far deeper and deadlier than I could have ever imagined. The dream hadn't just become a nightmare.